All right, so I have a love-hate relationship with the Nike Vapormax. It's definitely one of the most polarizing Nike Air Max shoes to have released in the last handful of years. And I have the original one, the very first colorway that ended up dropping. But I have the off-white version of the Vapormax, which is part of the 10 from Virgil Abloh. And this is probably one of, if not the most hyped up pair of Vapormaxes to date. And I would actually say that this pair is the best pair of Vapormaxes to have released. I just think it's one of the most clever, craziest pair of Vapormaxes to have hit the market. And so here we have a look at them. So here we have them. This is a Cactus Plant Flea Market Vapormax, and I absolutely love this pair of sneakers. So let's go ahead and get into the video and show you guys a little bit more about these shoes. What is going on, guys? Hes here. Hopefully you guys are having a good day out there. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video. So this video is actually going to be sponsored by KYX World. And if you haven't heard of this company yet, I've been talking about them here and there. But they basically have sneakers for rent. And I know some people are like, what? Why would I rent sneakers? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I actually did a full breakdown video of reasons why it would actually be something to consider. It's not necessarily for everybody, but I think there are situations where renting sneakers could be quite lucrative. And part of the reason why is because you can actually wear the sneakers and they want you to wear the sneakers, which might be confusing to some people out there because obviously they're very expensive sneakers and you don't want to ruin them. But I like the idea that you could actually wear them as they're yours, take good care of them, but wear them if you get a minor scuff on it here and there. KYX World doesn't really care about that. They just want you to wear your shoes, and you can rent them and then send them back for another pair of sneakers in the next month. One person was asking about the month cycle. It actually begins as soon as you get the shoes in hand, not when they ship. So shipping aside, it's when you actually get the shoes. So wanted to clarify that. But if you guys want 30% off of any tier of your orders at KYX World, check my link in the description and you can get that 30%. But this pair of sneakers from KYX World, I'm super stoked on because this is one of those shoes that I think is the best pair of Vapormaxes to date. Now, some people aren't really going to care about Vapormaxes. Really, there's only a couple pairs of Vapormaxes that are limited edition or have some sort of focus from the hypebeast side of things. But this is one of those shoes that I think, price aside, if it was just sitting at $200 or $250 or $300, this would be a shoe that I would want to buy just for myself because it is such a cool looking pair of sneakers. And getting them in hand definitely helps for myself to know what I'm missing, because this is a shoe that actually came out in 2019. 2 years later now, I'm still thinking about this shoe. So when KYX World had these as an option to send, I was like, yes, I gotta see these. And I am super impressed with the product that I have in hand. Now, I wanted to point this out. There's actually two different versions. There's a regular version, then there's also a friends and family version that has LED like strip around the midsole right here, and it actually like glows, which is rad. You can actually plug it in and it glows. It would actually be fun to be able to modify a pair of Vapormaxes to be able to include that. But this is the one that released, and it's actually a women's pair of sneakers. So in order to get these in the right size, you do have to look at the box and make sure you're buying the right size. Women's primary, it says a size 11, and then men's, it does say 9.5. For those wondering, that's how the sizing works out. 9.5 is a women's 11. I think for me, the wow factor on this shoe is hands down that crazy Nike swoosh on the side of the shoe. It's a 3D swoosh. It just sticks out of the shoe. It's kind of like plasticky, like it kind of just reminds me of like Gumby or something like that. It's just a really cool Nike swoosh that we see on the side that I haven't seen anything like that in the past. I also like that Cactus Plant Flea Market logo in the back with the double eye smiley face. And that's for the O in Just Do It. So it says Just Do It right around the shoe. And I love the way that they layered it together because you know it says Just Do It. The IT is kind of covered up by the swoosh, but obviously we know what it is. It's cool to me that Nike's okay with a company coming in and doing something like that. They're not offended by the branding being covered up or anything, or maybe they are offended, but they let it slide. And I just really love the execution of how that came across. Also, it's white on the right shoe, and you can see it comes around to the outside of the shoe here. But on the other shoe, it's flip-flopped. And I actually didn't know this because I didn't have them in hand and I never looked close enough. You just see the one picture of the swoosh on the outside. But on the other shoe, it actually is Just Do It in black, and it goes around and the swoosh is on the inside of the shoe. The double eye smiley face, though, is the same on both of the shoes, which is part of the wow factor, too. I like the fact that if you're walking and you walk away, like people are going to see that smiley face and go, that's pretty crazy. It looks cool. It looks like a DIY sort of thing, but in the best way possible. So the base of the shoe is actually not the Vapormax Flyknit, which is what the Virgil Abloh version of the off-white ones are. This is obviously the Flyknit version, which is the same as this one. This is the very first Vapormax Flyknit. This is the 2019. So you could see with the fused material on it, this is the same exact workings of the 2019 model. The difference though on the cactus plant versions, it has this nice little, like, I don't even know, it's like a scar tissue look over top of the fused material. And I love that they added that little small detail. Just one more little thing that they did to separate this shoe from just a baseline like GR version of the Vapormax 2019. The Vapormax 2019 was not a desirable shoe. People didn't really want that shoe. So when you have like a hyped up limited edition version that they do in a way like this, and it's the same exact shoe, I think that speaks pretty loud volumes. The fact that this is a shoe that nobody wanted, but now everybody wants it because it is what it is. And just so you guys can see, since I can break these out again, I do have the Dunks compliments of my friend Jen for hitting that raffle for me. I mean, just crazy. This is such a sick Nike Dunk, and it's the Cactus Plant flea market version, obviously, if you didn't know. So they have a couple different collabs with Nike, but the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because I think it's actually kind of rad, because Cactus Plant Flea Market has very, very strong ties to Pharrell, who's obviously an Adidas person. So in my opinion, like, this is the type of stuff that Pharrell would be rocking with if he was able to wear Nikes. Cactus Plant Flea Market just brings to the table something completely crazy, out of the box, and fun, and something that I could see Pharrell wanting to create. So if we were able to see Pharrell wear any of this stuff, this would be the stuff that he would definitely be rocking. And he does wear a lot of Cactus Plant stuff. He was one of their first like influencers or people that rock with the brand from, I think, 2016. One other thing I noticed about the shoes is the uppers are actually slightly different colors. Like, this one is a little bit more green. This one's a little bit more grayish green, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but oddly enough, I thought the uppers were exactly the same, but you could see the colors are actually a little bit different. As you transition down to the midsole, another thing that I really like about this shoe is the first half of it is in red, and then the second half of it is in kind of a greenish clear color. So I like that they did a little bit of a fade there. You have little hits of green, yellow, red. It's just a colorful shoe, and one that I think the execution was just really, really good on. One of the things I'll mention about the shoe, it's still a Vapormax, and when you're walking around on certain floors, it's still really, really squeaky. Walking through Target and stuff like that, these things are squeaking like crazy. And if you guys agree, drop a like or a comment on the video if you know what I'm talking about, because that's the way that the Vapormaxes feel, at least to myself. And it does have like a cleat-like sort of look to the shoe, but honestly, they're not uncomfortable shoes. Vapormax are just odd feeling, but they're not uncomfortable. They're just something you have to get used to, and I could wear these all day long and be super happy with that. Another detail I wanted to call out is the extremely crazy fat laces that come on the shoe. They actually come with a secondary pair of laces that have little hits of orange, but these laces are big, and I love that they came to the table with just something, again, a little bit different. Usually you see really thin performance laces, but they came with the fattest laces I've ever seen on any of the shoes that I have in this room. These are the biggest laces. It's just one of those shoes that are just so good, and so I love the fact that I'm able to get these in hand and on feet. Compliments to KYX World again. So thank you, KYX World, for sponsoring the video. Again, if you guys want to save 30% off of your subscription to KYX World, check the link in the description. But I personally think that out of the two Vapormaxes, the Cactus Plant joints are #1 on my list. I love this shoe. I got these for retail. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten this shoe because I luckily hit on a draw on these back in the day when they dropped. And it's a great shoe. I really, really love this Vapormax as well. But comparatively, side by side, I mean, I don't care which one's worth more. The one that I like better is definitely the Cactus Plant Flea Market. But leave a comment in the comment section. Which one is better in your opinion? Or is there a different Vapormax that you think is better than either of these two? Drop a comment and let me know. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day out there. And maybe we'll see you guys back on the channel for some more videos. All right, peace, guys.